anything at all that the girl tells you is qualification. But there's different levels to it, okay? If she tells you her name, that's qualification. If she tells you where she likes to travel to, that's qualification. This is what I want you to start retraining your brain in, that the boring, mundane conversations, the AFC type conversations, can be really, really solid. It can be really, really good game. It doesn't always have to be crazy up and down humorous situations. It can just be really solid qualification that you reward positively, and then when they stop qualifying to you, you stop rewarding, and then they want you to keep rewarding, so they keep qualifying to you. And it's this verbal banter of just kind of this verbal chess game of getting them to keep qualifying to you more and more and more and more. And the more they qualify to you, the more attraction you'll have with them, and the more fun you're both gonna have. What are some ways that you can, what are some qualifiers that you could ask a girl? Are you ambitious? What else? What are you passionate about? What else? Check this out. Me even asking this question is kind of me qualifying you guys, right? Like, I want you to look at this in a very abstract kind of way. So much of game should just come down to breaking rapport and getting them to qualify. So I tease, but then teasing by itself just gets a reaction out of them. You ever notice you have these conversations where like you're teasing and bantering with girls and it's going really, really well, but it just kind of fizzles out at some point. So like you're getting a lot of good teases in, you're bantering, she's laughing, and then you're like, but now the thing is supposed to happen, right? They say something's supposed to happen after you flirt, after you do this, but now the thing isn't happening. And that's because you're not qualifying hard enough, okay? You should be qualifying so hard that she's giving a little bit of resistance to your qualifiers. So like, oh, what are the 3 most ambitious things you've ever done in your life? Well, that's kind of a heavy question, right? It's a little bit deep. So what ends up happening, if she doesn't actually fit through those hoops, you have to tease her for it, okay? And by teasing her, that's breaking rapport, it's kind of punishing her. And then give her smaller hoops to jump through. And that's what's gonna keep the conversation progressing forward. So what I mean by that is this. Hey, what's the 3 most, what's the question everyone asks? 3 most interesting things? Hey, what's the 3 most interesting things you have going for yourself? And she's like, I don't know. Or I don't really want to talk about it, or none of your business, or I don't know, right? You could say, come on, I know you're gonna vote for Trump, it's okay. Tell me 1 interesting thing about yourself, it's okay. It doesn't even make sense, but it's a tease. Or you could just say, oh, don't be gay. I love the don't be gay. Oh, come on, don't be gay. Like, especially when it's very clearly politically incorrect, right? As if being gay is a bad thing or something. I'm like, oh, don't be gay, come on, don't be lame. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow them, it's gonna force investment out of them in you. So they're gonna feel better about themselves in the conversation because it feels good to invest. And you're gonna kind of have the upper hand if you're gonna look at it in that kind of silly kind of way, right? So what are the 3 most interesting things about yourself? Oh, I don't know. Don't be gay, don't be a faggot. All right, give me 1 interesting thing that you've ever done in your life. I guess I backpacked through Europe. See? That's interesting. I can get on board with that. That's fucking cool. Hey, everybody, you guys, and then like you start screaming, hey, everybody, you're about to like raise your voice. She's gonna come to you and be like, no, shh, stop, what are you doing? Be like, oh, I thought everybody should know this interesting thing about you. The 3rd thing I always ask is what? Hey, so where are you from? Okay, I ask, hey, so where are you from? She says some city. I'm 90% of the time tease it. Hey, where are you from? San Francisco. Oh, don't be gay. Hey, is it true what they say about girls from Florida? It's some tease. You're trying to tease it, okay? That tease is gonna then promote some sort of dent in her armor. Then she says, oh, whatever, right? She gives some response. Oh, haha, yeah, it is. Or, oh, what do they say? And then you give some big question. Oh, well, what are you celebrating? And then because you tease, she's now going to give you this huge answer. That huge answer is what? It is qualification. The goal is to flip the script so many times throughout the interaction that she's talking your ear off, and you're just kind of there responding to all of it. The more that you can get her talking, and the more that you can kind of like what is it, tennis, where you're volleying it back and forth, right? The more time, when I say volley back and forth, the more times she can say something and then you're like, oh, that's so cool. I really appreciate the fact that you do that. I'm proud of somebody who does that, right? Those are called qualifying frames. When you can set a positive qualifying frame to something and you make it just habitual, you're just gonna end up having a much better conversation with somebody, okay? The reason why you're gonna have a better conversation is because you're being extremely genuine to rewarding everything they have to say to you. If they're gonna wanna keep talking to you, then you're gonna wanna keep talking to them, and it's just gonna promote a really positive conversation. The more you can get them talking, the better it's going to be. So we've built it up here, right? So break rapport is what starts it, it sparks it. Then they start talking. Now, if If they don't respond to you, you tease and then give them a smaller hoop to jump through. So if you're like, the 3 interesting things is a great example because it's a number, it's numerical, so it's very easy to like pull back from that. But it's also kind of silly because I don't think I've ever asked a girl, tell me 3 interesting things about yourself. Like, it's a weird thing, right? What's something you could say is like, where's your favorite place in the world you've ever traveled to? That's kind of a common question, right? Something similar. And then she could go, someone give me a non-committal or a non-investment answer. I don't travel. And I'd be like, oh wait, you know what? You're right. You look like you don't travel. You're here in Vegas at least, right? So where have you traveled to? Where's the last place you traveled to before you traveled to Vegas? Like, they can't, that's an answer they don't have to think very hard about. It's a very just factual, non-creative answer. So if you're getting stuck making smaller hoops, then just give them answers that don't involve any creativity. Because the goal is not, you always have to remember, like, the goal is not some elaborate answer, right? The goal is just an answer. And then you build on it. And you make it as elaborate as possible. You build depth to it. The more depth you can get, the more you can get her talking your ear off, the more traction you're going to build. So if you're just going to go direct with every girl you see, there's no point to learn game. Just go direct with every girl you see, and you'll probably have better results than like your average dude, right? It's a great way to get in state, but like there's like the amount that you could actually like improve your results is very limited with just going direct nonstop.